completely from the pit of hell. They are completely from the pit of hell. They are completely from the pit of hell. How dare do you kill someone for you to get, unalive someone for you to get whatever you want and all that? And you think that's a good idea? You hate someone because of their religion, and you, instead of trying to make peace with them, you want to unalive them. You want to unalive the whole generation. Hello, my people. Come and let us reason together on this again. And it has been on my mind for the longest. And I know, just trying to meditate and try to put things into perspective and maybe get an understanding out of it. And I would like you to, yeah, I'd like you to be part of this, and let's talk about this. I know most of you guys are familiar with the story of Lazarus and the rich man. Mm. For those who are not familiar with that story of Lazarus and the rich man, you can get it in the book of Luke, that's 16, from verse chapter 16, from verse 19. You can get that story over there. But I just want to use this story to try do a comparison on what is happening in this world currently. What was happening in the world was happening in the world, and what will be happening in the world. And most maybe people are not really getting hold on what is really happening, or maybe not trying to understand what is happening. So the story about Lazarus and the rich man is a very simple story. Lazarus was one of the poorest people that the Bible records, and not just poor, but he was poor and very sick. Yep, poor and very sick. The whole body was covered by sores, and he had nothing, no treatment at all, and all that. And the rich man had everything that he wanted, and he could still go on and try to make Lazarus look bad. And when these two people die, one is on the other extreme, and the other one is on the other extreme. The rich man is on the other extreme where there is no good, things are just bad. Then Lazarus is on the other extreme where the Bible records that he was in. Is it Abraham's bosom? Yeah, the Bible records that he's in Abraham's bosom, and everything's just good for Lazarus on the other end, and for the rich man on the other hand, it's too hot. It's too hot. And the rich man reaches out to, he's reaching out to Lazarus, bro, we're once friends on the other end. Using my own words, the Bible doesn't really describe it that way, but bro, why we not brothers like on the other end? And I'm so sure I good did that and that to you, but why can't you just give me even a drop of water to quench, to try cool down this fire over here? Then the rich man told you, okay, between you and Lazarus, there's a very great void that nothing can ever, nothing can ever connect the two of you to do anything. Then what I love most is when the rich man says, kindly send someone to go and warn my brothers, because he knew the brothers are still doing the very thing that he's doing. But let's look at it this way. One thing is, when the rich man was leaving, he thought what he was doing was the best thing ever. He was rich, he had all the money and all that, so not taking care of the poor was not something that he thought was, something good and all that. So to him, he was living his life like any other person will live his life the way they really want. And he was okay. He never knew what will happen after he's gone. After he's gone from this world, he has gone the other end. He never knew what will really happen. So he was just living his life normally like any other person and enjoying his life, YOLOing. We live once, so let me do my thing. I don't give a damn on what happens on the other end. But when he arrived on the other end, I think that's when he realizes not the way I thought when I was living. Like, it's not within the scale of what I thought when I was living. This is too extreme, and I don't really want my brothers to come to this end and go through whatever I'm going through. So there is someone who can go back there and warn them of that. I'll be very happy. But unfortunately, there was no one to go and to warn them. And sometimes I wish that the dead could wake up and tell us how the other end looks like. Yeah, I really wish that the dead could wake up and tell us how the other end looks like. Maybe us who are living will certainly change the course of our lives and try to do the right thing so that we won't get ourselves there. But again, we have everything that is warning us against that. But there are issues and there are ideologies that have come from the devil himself. Ideologies that have come from the devil himself. And those ideologies have been sold unto us, and we believe in them so much. And we are passionately following up and working them out trying to think that you're fulfilling a good cause that will lead us to the better place, but in real sense, we are on the wrong course, and that wrong course will lead us to worse places, will lead us to hell and all that. And people, we don't open our eyes or reason on it to try to understand and try to do the right thing in the right way. We continue doing all those wrong things the way we're doing them, thinking that we are trying to make ourselves happy and trying to make our leaders happy and those people who started those ideologies happy. I tell you, some of those things are completely from the pit of hell. They are completely from the pit of hell. They are completely from the pit of hell. How dare do you kill someone for you to get, unalive someone for you to get whatever you want and all that? And you think that's a good idea. You hate someone because of their religion, and you, instead of trying to make peace with them, you want to unalive them. You want to unalive the whole generation for you to forget whatever you want to get and all that. So I think, some people have died in those within those ideologies should really wake up and try to tell people what is really happening on the other end, so that people can change their course and all that. It doesn't have to be, like, just like the rich man had a desire to come back to this world and share. I'm talking about things about the extreme radicalization among the Muslim communities that are think doing away with the people who don't really ascribe to Islam is the way out and all that. I'm talking about the suicide bombers, those guys who round themselves with ammunitions and bombs and go bomb themselves, bomb other people there with an ideology that they will get the 72 virgins in heaven. Like, seriously, someone sells you that idea and then you buy into it and then you're ready to lose your life for that idea. Like, does it really make any sense? Does it really make any sense? Does it really make any sense? It doesn't really make any sense at any point. I lose myself, and sometimes I feel like, why can't we sometimes think critically over some things just before we get ourselves fully rooted into them? Why can't we ask for guidance on the same before we get ourselves rooted into it? What are we fighting for? Is it a good cause that we are fighting for? Or is just a cause to make someone somewhere feel good? Then once you've done that, they will give you, for them to make more people continue coming in, they'll start calling you heroes. And that is to make the living to think that that's the right cause for them to follow, and they'll come and continue doing the fightings and all that, hating other people for nothing, hating other races for nothing. Another thing, like, I just don't really understand. Brothers and sisters, just before we get ourselves to doing all those things, can we try to reason? Can we try to think about all those stuff before we get ourselves into it? Before we start fighting for Hamas, before we start fighting for these extremist groups, before we start, labeling people on these other things, can we really think about what we're doing? I believe we can live and coexist in this world and live a peaceful life in this world. The political agendas, all these other things, who will you blame, by the way? When you truly get yourself out of this world and you find out that it was all a lie, you're fighting for something that was never there. It was all a lie from hell, and it looked so sweet in your eyes and ears, and you thought that's the best thing to do. But remember, when you're there, you can never change anything. Nothing can change. Nothing can change. You live to be who you are and what you are for the rest of your life, on the other end. What if you go there? What if you go there and find nothing that they told you it is? But you fought in this world, fought people, destroyed your own people, destroyed people's property in the name of that ideology, trying to find a better place for yourself in that place. Subscribe and let's have a discussion on the comment section. Thank you, guys.